Hello, my fellow readers and writers. I'm RL Writer, and I'm glad that you could join me today because I'll be talking about one of my writing projects, Storm of Blood. I'll admit I'm a little nervous about sharing it since I've only ever shared it on my blog, which actually I have the blog post pulled up right here. And if you want to check it out, it will be in the description below. Well, the link will be, not the actual blog post. I'm going to try to keep it, under 30 minutes. Emphasis on try. And I will be sharing a bit about the characters, some of the setting and plot stuff, my hopes, my goals, and of course the general idea so you have a bit of a sense of what's going on. We'll just start there at the general idea. Storm of Blood is a dark YA fantasy with politics, magia, which is my world's version of the word magic, and trauma. Of course I have to put trauma. Once you get to know me and my other projects a little better, you'll understand that trauma is one of my favorite things. Some countries, which is a little bit of the setting, but general idea, some of the countries do have magia, like, and others don't. We love unfair magic systems. The story is about two main characters, dual POV, we love that. Storm, a warrior of the king, who is feared amongst the nations. A little dramatic, but hey, I gotta pitch it somehow. And also, better known as Halal Vihar, which that is actually Hungarian, I believe, for Death Storm. And Lancelot, the crown prince, who is secretly trying to depose his tyrant father. Drama. I'll cover the main characters, some important side characters, aka some of my favorite characters, and a couple side characters that don't appear as much but still hold a great deal of importance. Let's start with Warrior Storm, or Halal Vihar. Storm is 18 at the start of the story. She's... do I want to do the descriptions? Yeah, why not? So that way you can kind of picture her. She's got long, dark curls, light gray-blue eyes, and tan skin. She's actually 6'4", so she's very tall. She's best known for her triple magia of water, wind, and lightning, which is kind of why she's called Storm, because she can create literal storms. She suffers a lot of nightmares and guilt over the massacres she causes, which are her assignments from the king. The general, aka General Haler, he's also one of my favorites, so many favorites, raised her, even going so far as to adopt her, even though she was already his ward. She is a Haler by blood, though. Not just adoption. But she doesn't know where her relation comes from. That's a plot point. Very small plot point, but one anyway. She was raised to be a weapon, killing by the dozens. Sorry for any sensitive people. Ever since she became a warrior at 15 years old, child soldier stuff. Since then, she has been keeping the amount of wards becoming warriors to a minimum because of her immense power. There's not as much of a need, but yeah. And she helps military officials smuggle some of the wards out to Norvin, which there's a little bit about Norvin later. Then we have Lancelot, aka the Crown Prince of Valorway. Lancelot is 21 at the start of the story, so he's a little bit older, still traumatized. He's got dark red hair, pale skin, hazel amber eyes. He's 6'7", so he's also really tall. He's incredibly big brain, unlike me, and is trying to overthrow his tyrannical father with the help of other nations. Of course, secretly. Yeah, it's not the big obvious thing. It's a lot of underhanded politics. He has a magia, but he normally keeps it dormant. Plot point type thing there too. But he's an insomniac. Yay! Going without sleep until he crashes, stemming from both panic and stress, along with the omnipresent fear of getting caught by his father. And he also has a lot of trauma insomnia from the burning of Norvin's capital, which he witnessed as a boy. We love trauma. Like I said, remember, Trauma, trauma, trauma. And then we have Warrior Mathis. Mathis is around Lancelot's age, with black hair and emerald green eyes. His eyes are like emeralds. Sorry. He has a Maikia that allows him to block other people's Maikia. So it kind of makes sense why he's a guard, you know? He is Lancelot's personal guard and a brother figure to Storm. Found family trope. Yay. The King of Valorway. His name is like Gawain. I just don't know how to pronounce it. So I put the King of Valorway as in a hopes to avoid pronouncing it, but here I am. Sorry. The king is middle-aged and looks just like his son, except he has a beard. Lancelot can't grow a beard. Poor Lancelot. Like I said, looks just like his son, or more accurately, Lancelot looks more like his father type thing. And Lancelot also shares a lot of his mannerisms. The king has conquered many, and I think it's like 3. Yep, there's 3. Maikia-less countries, including Norvin, Shausta, and Evrin. I think I pronounced that right. I'm making up countries and I don't even know how to pronounce them. You're welcome. He is known to be a tyrant with an iron grip on all Maikia-born citizens of his country. Don't we love tyrants? And then Prince Connor of Wireland. Connor is around 20, blonde hair, blue-eyed, white boy. Sorry. His Maikia allows him to summon fire, and he's known mostly for being a little sarcastic and carefree in his attitude. But he may or may not have a small crush on Nyreen. I loved writing some of those parts. Maybe more parts will be to come. I don't know. Getting sidetracked. Warrior Nyreen. Nyreen is right around Storm's age, with ash blonde hair and dark brown eyes. Her Maikia lets her tell truth from lies and discern someone's true intentions. So, she gets called a truth teller, actually, which is very fitting. She may or may not have a small crush on Connor as well. And then the next most notable character is probably Guard Victor. Victor's in his early 20s with oak brown hair and gray eyes. If it sounds similar to someone, that's on purpose. He has a Maikia that allows him control over energy, letting him create stuff like force fields. That type of energy, not like, I'm gonna take your life force energy. Maybe I should sleep more. That would help with my ramblings, I'm sure. He is Storm's guard and is related to her, but one of the reasons he's my favorite is because he's really good at cards, can do a one-handed card shuffle, is really good at braiding, and he's just kind of slaying all around. He's a queen. Okay, darn it. I went a lot longer than I was hoping for characters, so whatever. This is going to be a long video again. Maybe someday I'll have a short video. Setting. Storm of Blood takes place in a time that is sort of similar to the Renaissance era, but with more of a kind of steampunkish and political and war-torn vibe to it, in lieu of course, all the war, and the steampunk is kind of due to the invention stuff that gets briefly mentioned. Valorway is basically your normal European country, based loosely off of how England was around the time of the Renaissance. The palace is very decorative, it's a grand place, while the castle is farther away and much more fortified, but the king is so arrogant that he's like, no, I'm not gonna hang at the castle. I'm gonna chill at the palace, you know, where it's less defensible. Some of the surrounding lands, like Wireland and Mainor, are also more of your European-style countries, like Germany or France, for example. Traylor, the country Valorway is at war with, is based loosely off of Hungary, with, you know, Halar being Deathstorm in Hungarian. Then there's another country, Aztecana, that is based off of Brazil. I really enjoy Aztecana's characters. They unfortunately don't play as big of a part as I would like them to. I should probably change that so I can have more. Sorry. The military camp, which is mentioned at the beginning of the story, is mostly a collection of tents, with 2 or more soldiers sharing a canvas tent, depending on the size of the tent, obviously. And then, like, the mess halls and, for example, the general's meeting area are basically more tents strung together or placed, really close together type thing. The plot. This is going to be spoiler-free, so that way I'm not spoiling my entire story before I've even completely finished it, just because I don't know if I'm going to, like, change any big things. I'm hoping not, because that would require a lot of rewriting, not relighting. Storm of Blood is centered around one main goal, with several different things splitting off from it, with side plots merging together the closer we get to the climax. We love a good climax. The biggest plot point is probably Lancelot's goal of deposing his father, and because of his big goal, Storm ends up getting to the capital. Other royals that he allies with get wrapped into this. Storm has been keeping another round of wards from becoming warrior, so that's part of her thing. And there are some key figures that are mentioned, like Kenley and even General Haler himself, that have been secretly helping warriors and wards disappear. Other plot points include a variety of things, from Storm's parentage, as I mentioned earlier, to Nyreen and Connor, who get a tiny little side plot there, and even the deserters that Haler and Kenley have helped out. So it's essentially a big melting pot of everything stemming from Lancelot's father, aka the king, and his goal of deposing him. So, it's a big melting pot of stuff. But I do try to keep it all interconnected, I promise you. The main climax, like I said, has a lot to do with deposing the king. But so many things go wrong, like all good climaxes have happened. And Victor, Mathis, Storm, and Lancelot come out victorious, a bit of a spoiler, but also scarred. I won't tell you what types of scars, though. There's so much more stuff that goes on, but for the sake of, 1, keeping this video short, and 2, not spoilering, I will shush about it. My current progress. As of right now, I've got, I think, around 32,000 something or other words in Storm of Blood at the moment. My goal is to get to 80,000, and as of right now, I'm currently making pretty big leaps and bounds since I've set a word count goal, daily goal. 2,000 words a day is what I try to aim for. A lot of times I do pass that. And if I miss a day, I make myself do 4,000 words. And I had to do that one time, and I don't recommend missing a day if you're doing something like that. I started this version of Storm and Lancelot's story. And if you want to know what their previous version was, then, comment that. And I'll maybe bring it up. I'll have to see, But I started this version the 16th of January this year. So, and I kind of forgot about it for a little bit. A week. But I mean, I got back to it, so. And I'm on track to finish this first draft by mid to late March, which I'm so excited for. And, well, I mean, who isn't excited to finish their first draft? My plans for Storm of Blood. I plan on making it a trilogy, of course. I was originally thinking a duology, but then I realized I kind of wanted to add on another story to kind of really wrap things up. Because the 2 following sequels will be developing Storm and Lancelot's healing, trying to restabilize Valorway, deal with a threat that presents itself at the end of Storm of Blood, which I won't share, and possibly adding a small romantic, or maybe a little bit bigger, I'm not quite sure yet, subplot between Lancelot and Storm, which I don't want to try to do in one book, My hopes for Storm of Blood are well, they're a little big. And that's mostly because I want to traditionally publish this as my debut novel. For those of you who don't know what a debut novel is, that's basically the author's first ever novel. They can only have one debut novel, type thing. Because of what I want to do, I will be doing quite a lot of editing and rewriting and refining, and I will be getting some beta readers. I'm hoping for at least 4. But yeah, that is one hope that I hold close to my heart, and it's something that I would really like to achieve. And if it doesn't work out traditionally publishing, then I will self-publish it, just because that's a story I want to share, Let's see. I had another thought in my mind, but it kind of ran away from me. Give me a second. Oh, I was thinking of maybe doing a series about editing and revising, and maybe something about beta readers once I get to those stages. So if that's something you'd like to see in the future, make sure to comment that, so that way it's, in my mind, and I'll write it down, I promise. And then, if you want extra Storm of Blood content, I will be doing 2 different things on my YouTube channel. One, like I said, YouTube Shorts, and I will probably be doing follow-up videos the farther along I get through my draft and through editing and beta reading and all that. But 2, YouTube Shorts. I will be doing, or I will try to do, a weekly kind of review. Like, how many words did I write this week? What's my progress? All that. And I would like to do a favorite line from each chapter type thing. So if those are some things that you would like to see, comment. Again, a lot of commenting. Jeez, oh Pete's. I will give a bit of an update and stuff on my blog as well. And those will be, the videos and the blogs will definitely differ, just because one's video form and one's writing form. So I'll be able to get a little more numbers wise here. But yeah, definitely those shorts, definitely some extra stuff once I, get farther along. And that's about it. I did it. It's under 30 minutes long, you guys. I should get a cookie. I don't think I have cookies here, though. Nope, no cookies. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I feel so awkward with these outros. I need to get better at this. Okay. So that's Storm of Blood. Comment if you'd want to see more content on it. Just kind of generally what you'd want to see. What are your thoughts on Storm of Blood? Like, would you want to read it? I guess, don't be mean about it. Because if you're going to be mean, then I'm going to go cry in a hole somewhere. Not actually. 1, it's winter, so wouldn't be easy to, dig a hole. And 2, I don't want to go cry in a hole. I'd get really dirty in a hole. But anyway, comment, share the video, share my YouTube channel, please. Kind of help spread and grow. I'm sorry, Chromebook. I didn't mean to hit you. Sorry. Spread and grow my channel is one of the things I'm working towards. So with your help, that would be helpful. I need to end this video. Sorry for the really long-winded outro, but like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time.